Greetings, or should I say bless you, followers of fantasy. Welcome to Edra Tales, your new religion or cult. No, it's not. Yes, my name is Ken Boyd. You probably, if you didn't know, surprise. And this is Edra Tales Twitch live stream. We also have an Edra Tales YouTube channel, so go check that out. This is Grockle Snook from the Bottled Imp. Oh yes, this is another YouTube channel that myself and Julian co-created. We have over 450 episodes of fantasy goodness. Fantasy board games, fantasy films and fantasy book reviews. All for your delectation and pleasure. Good evening, Detective. Yes, well remembered. You've got such a sharp memory, Leverin. Yes, this is in honour of I'm doing another murder mystery, performing in another murder mystery. I do about 25 to 30 a year. So that's most weekends. And some weekends are like full weekends, some are just evening plots. And if it's a full weekend, some plots, not all, but some plots, they have a fancy dress evening. So it's exactly the same. It's over a 3-course meal. Same plot, same characters as the afternoon session and the morning session. However, there is a fancy dress. And the theme this time round is detectives. So, of course, I'm going to go as Brother Cadfael. And, look, little bear Cadfael. I forgot that I had this, and then because I keep him up there in the dungeon with me and Grockle Snook. Yeah, so it's cute. He's like, look at that. Hail Serendipity. After last Edra Scrolls saw a translated version of Name of the Rose in the local bookstore. There you go. How bizarre it is, serendipity. Yes, it could be that Name of the Rose is about a detective as well, a detective monk. Good morning, Martha. She says, good luck, detective. I can't stay the whole stream. Going to gaming club? Absolutely, Martha. No problems. Thank you for tuning in as you have done. Gaming club sounds exciting. Is that where you do D&D sometimes? Comic book. Oh, it was a comic book, Name of the Rose. Yes, I think I've seen that. I think that was about when I, first saw the film, or, a couple of years after the film came out. I'm pretty sure there was a comic book. Hence Volume 1. It's still ongoing. Oh, maybe I got that wrong. Yeah, maybe I've just made that up. Right, so it's a new comic book of Name of the Rose. Oh, okay, fantastic. Yes, D&D are on Monday. Today is costume making. Oh, that sounds great. Yes, costume making. Fantastic. Yes, so are you planning to make a particular costume, or do you just get there and you not know what you're going to do and then you go, oh, do you know what, I'm going to do this? And do you have to bring your own materials? Do they supply stuff? What's the deal, Martha? What's the deal? So, yes, shall I take this off? I don't know, I better get used to wearing it, I suppose. Hardback, says Lirin. Oh, so tempted to get it with next month's 75% voucher. Yeah. Oh, it's a hardback. Hardbacks are difficult to resist, aren't they? My roguish bard clothing. I have all the things I need to make it fantastic. I thought it was going to be a rogue. I thought... who doesn't want to wear a cloak with a hood? This is cool enough. See, that's... Obviously, they haven't quite got the hang of making hoods to fit. But I guess that's how they used to wear them, didn't they? Where it sort of covered their faces. It cuts both ways, actually, walking around like this. Because, yes, people, if you want to keep hidden, it's quite good. Because people can't really see your face. But equally, you can't see where the hell you're going. Let's take that off. So so I need to pack that. I've packed pretty much everything for the murder mystery. And learnt all my lines. Got a lot of lines, this one. I don't normally get a lot of lines anyway, but Yes, it does coincide with me obviously trying to do all my creative projects. So I had to learn a new set of lines because I've not done this plot this time round. It first came out in 2017, and I actually I alternated between playing two different characters. So it's always fun going back to these plots because you go, oh yeah, I remember this one, yeah. But of course the lines aren't there. I mean, yeah, familiar-ish, but they're not there. So I did need to spend time doing that. Captain Roger's shield as your T-shirt. Very appropriate when playing Seeker of Truth. Yes, look at that. It is Captain America. This is very old now, this T-shirt. Very, very old. This must be at least 10 years old, I would imagine. I'm surprised I can still fit into it. So, talking of that, Sally and I have played, we've started to play squash again on Fridays. So I'm hoping to get fitter by playing squash and hopefully lose a bit of weight as well. So there we go. So how is everybody? Hopefully you've all had a lovely week. We had fun, didn't we, with the dungeon on Blood Island. Good morning, Glenn. How are you, sir? The dungeon on Blood Island. We did part 8 on Wednesday. That was Wednesday's live stream. And we are going to continue. We're going to do a part 9. Because it looks like people want to actually get to the end of this. So that's fair enough. We're only down to 1 life, though. But, you know, so if we do it, we do it. If we lose our last life, we lose our last life. All good, Tar. Hi, chat. Hi, chattity chat. Yes, if you didn't know, Glenn and his friend Zods have created a YouTube channel called the Talisman Tavern. And if you love Talisman, they're doing all stuff Talisman. Aren't we glad we saved the assassin? Yes, we did save the assassin. Yeah, grr. Well, the thing is, I kind of knew that, because you guys voted to leave the assassin in the spider pit, I kind of had a feeling, and I'm not doing the I told you so, but I had a feeling that assassin would do that to us later on. However, or kill us later on. However, who's to say that the assassin, if we'd helped the assassin out of the pit originally, that the assassin wouldn't then X amount of paragraphs down the line just do that to us anyway. Hello, Rosalind. Hello, how are you? Sorry I've not replied to your text, but it's been full on. I've had murder mystery lines to learn. I've been proofreading and editing my game book. So it's been just stupidly busy. Yeah, so much so that I sort of think, yeah, I've taken on too much again. I'm desperately trying to cut down my projects, but I don't know, if opportunities come your way. Rosalind says she's very busy today, specifically, but it will lurk in the comments for a bit. Okay. Oh, yes, no worries. Yeah, absolutely. I always say, Rosalind, that real life comes first. So if you can watch for a little bit, that's fine. And if you've got stuff to do, please go and do them, obviously. No obligation to watch, obviously. Leave Inspire, evening, Martha, Rosalind, and Glenn sips coffee to wake up brain. Yeah, so Lirin lives in Taiwan. So the time difference is amazing. So Lirin, it's very early morning for Lirin. Yes. So, Blood Island. We did manage to survive, despite the assassin. We have 1 life left. So maybe the next part will be the last part. And then we have to consider what we're going to do afterwards. Joseph Daniels, who we did his time-travelling book... oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. No, it's 6:15 in the evening. Sorry, I get confused. So when we do the live stream Wednesday at 7, I think that's when it's the morning for Lirin. Sorry. That was my bad. I'm rubbish at time zones and geography and facts in general. Joseph Daniels, yes. He did send me this after we had live streamed his other game book. The Ghosts of Craven Manor. So this is Tales Foretold. So he's done kind of what James has done, James Orquette. He's done a taster book So James did 4 standalone stories that weren't a taster as such. They were independent standalone stories. He's put here, for those of you familiar with the game books of Joseph Daniels, you may have already played a few titles and know how immersive, innovating and satisfying these adventures can be. However, if you are new to these books, then you just might have a significant find, because this volume contains a prologue of not 1, not 2, but 4 of Daniel's most unique titles available to date. So he's done like a taster booklet, which I think is quite a cool idea. So we could do one of these as the next playthrough. The Chuzzlewit Mystery, Prologue to Grim Dickinson. That sounds pretty cool. So, yeah, maybe we could do one of those. Or we could actually we could play through the sample of My To Kill a Thief. Now, Julian did do that on his Babel_17 Twitch channel. But, you know, if people want to actually do a live stream of this, I'm more than happy to do that. Talking of which, we have an update on the game book that I'm writing, and I have finished it. I have finished writing the first draft. Here it is. I don't know if I announced this last week or not. No, I wouldn't have done. I might have announced it on Wednesday actually, but this is maybe more of an official announcement. So it's 190 pages of single-sided A4. Obviously, I'm going to be converting it into a game book, you know, that looks like this, proper game book size and all of that. Thank you very much, Rosalind. Yeah, it's certainly hard work, put it that way. As you can imagine, yeah. So I'm very happy with that. It's over 103,000 words. Hello, John. That is a lot of paper. It is a lot of paper. It's probably 15 trees worth. So don't tell Treebeard though. Don't tell Treebeard. Yeah, so it's over 103,000 words, and it's about 407, 408 entries. Now, the reason why I'm not 100% sure is because I wrote 400. But as I was plotting it on my old, you know, plotting flow sheet, I noticed that I'd missed numbers out. So there were some spare numbers. But also, when I was writing it, I needed to put extra paragraphs in, extra entries in, like 17A, 17B, 17C, that kind of thing. So I cannot distribute those ABCs into proper numbers. It's all very confusing. And then once I do that, I then will know exactly how many entries I've got. And even then I might have to write a few more entries or take a few out after playtesting, because, you know, it might not make sense. So I think I've written about 408 entries. We shall see. And I was aiming for at least 400. But I certainly wasn't aiming to write 103,000 words. That's just how it came out. Lyrian is putting, it's okay. This reminds me of my favourite animated movie where the musician protagonist send from London their Beatles pilgrimage photos to their teacher in Japan, happily declaring they are sending letters to the future due to the different time zones. Of course, you kind of are. So time travel does exist. I do remember, yeah, that reminds me when I went to America when I was younger. And I went to Boston, and it's 5 hours different. So it's 5 hours back in time, but the plane journey is 5 hours. So you arrive at the time that you left. So say you left at 3 o'clock UK time, you arrive at 3 o'clock Boston time. So in effect, you don't lose any time. It's just semantics, isn't it? Well done. Thank you very much. That's very appreciative of you, John. Yeah, so my aim is to actually get the book out to the backers, to my Kickstarter backers, in May. That's looking tight. It is still doable. Oh, and there's something else that I was going to show you. Where is it? I've not got it there. I don't know why I've gone all David Bowie. Where is it? Where have I put it? I've lost it already. You reminded me that I had to pack, and now I have packed all the things I need. Oh, that's fantastic. Yes. Well, there you go. Glad to be of service, Martha. Yes, so I'm going through the first draft to make corrections, to spot typos, and so I'm going to be. I've nearly finished that. I'm on entry 304, so I'm going to spend a bit more time making those corrections. Then once I've changed all those for the first draft, then I'm going to be sending out the second draft for that to be proofread. Then I'm hoping to get that back after a couple of weeks, and then that'll be all the proofreading and grammar kind of sorted out. But also, at the same time as sending out a proofreading copy, I'm going to send out playtesting copies. So if anyone would like to play test it, they are more than welcome to, but I will need it play tested in, let's say, 2 weeks, which is, I know it's not a lot of time. I wanted to give you more time, but if I'm going to get it done by May, I kind of need to get it back. So if I need to fix anything, then I can fix those quickly. It needs to be typeset, plus the next thing I'm also going to be doing is the illustrations. Now, I have got something that I was going to show you, but I don't know where they've gone. Where have they gone? This is crazy talk. Where have they gone? What did I do with them? What did I do with them? Hang on. That is so typical. Where did they go? That's really bizarre. Oh, here they are. I did put them here. So, here it is. This is what I want to show you. It's worth it, isn't it? I wanted to show you some grey. Forgive me for that. Yes, no. Look at this. Look at this. This is great. Essential Arts soft polymer blocks. Okay. So this is going to be used. I don't think there's any way to open these where I can reseal it. These are going to be used. Ooh, nice. Oh, not actually touched them yet. For my lino cutting. So this is polymer blocks or lino. And all the illustrations are going to be hand carved. They're going to be drawn by myself. Then I'm going to hand carve them. And then I'm going to get, I've got access to a printing facility, you know, a hand sort of mangle printing where you do that and it goes through. You put the paper down, you put your print, well, you ink up the print, then you put that face down, and I think I'm going to put another bit of paper on top just for safety. And then you wind it through a mangle, and you lift this off, or the other way around, and you take the paper, and so it's got a print. I'm going to do proper prints. Gosh, wasn't there a cool Kickstarter about this? Yes, that might have been me. I need to get some food, going to be there from 12 till 3. Okay, Martha, thank you for watching, if that means you're leaving. Thank you. Enjoy your games, your costume making day. That sounds very exciting. Yes, this was my Kickstarter for the game book where I mentioned about this. This is how I'm going to do the illustrations, because I do like the woodcut feel. So, you know, I do like the black and white illustrations of game books. So if we look at this one here, I love all the detail and everything like that. These ones are a little bit more shaded now. They're a little bit more shaded than the original Fighting Fantasy books. So mine are going to be more kind of stark, I guess. You can still get shading. But yeah, I'm just going to play around. I'm just going to experiment with it. But I have had experience doing this type of thing before. So I thought it'd be really cool to make these hand-carved prints. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan in each print and then typeset it into the book. But equally, I can make many prints of those illustrations. So, you know, and then I'm going to be selling those as well. So I thought that would be quite a cool thing to have. You can have them on your wall. You can have them in your bathroom. You can have them in your kitchen. Those adverts, you know, when they suggest things like, you know, buy this car, you can drive to school, you can drive to the supermarket, you can drive to the cinema, you can. I know I can drive everywhere with it. You don't have to list the places that I can drive to. You can put the prints up in your bedroom, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the living. I know where to put them. I know that you can put prints every... Sounds old-fashioned printing with a printing press. Yeah, no, it is, exactly. You put it through mangles, yeah, and then it comes out. And it has that lovely hand quality, you know, handmade craftsman quality to it. Ah, just like the German monks, exactly. Talking of German monks, just like the German monks who cut the very first printing boards, allowing Bibles and later books in general to become a widespread commodity for everyone rather than a rare luxury. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I plan to do, and this I can already feel. These are nice, these are good quality. Look how flexible that is, because you want them nice and soft, because the softer they are, the easier the tools go into the surface, and thus giving you more control. Another way, sometimes you see people with little heat guns, and they'll heat up the surface area so it is softer. But these feel really nice and soft. So very happy with those. So that should be cool. Cool. John's a tool. So that is the latest for my game book. Finished the first draft. Over 103,000 words written. I'm proofreading it now. I'm on about 304 entries out of the 400 entries that I have to proofread. Then I'm going to give it to other people to proofread. And then also I'm going to give it to playtesting. I do need to typeset though. Then I need to do the illustrations. And then we need to get it to the printers. So I think I've missed the deadline for the middle of May. I had hoped that I could also sell some. I had hoped to get them all out to the backers before the 17th of May, but I don't think that's going to happen. Hello, Sally. How are you? No worries, Sally. How has you run? Finishes coffee. Fantastic. It's going to be tight because I had hoped, because I've got a book festival coming up. I had hoped to have the book for there, but it's, you know, that's not my priority. The Kickstarter backers are my priority because they're the ones that funded it. But I had hoped that if I could do both, if I could send out the book to everyone that backed it, and then I could have spares, hopefully, depending on the cost, that I could sell at the book fair. But if that's not happened, that's not happened, because I still do have my novel Of Magic and Monkeys, hardback edition. These are limited editions that I only got 40 printed, and once they're gone, they're gone. So that's the hardback edition. I've got about 20 left, I think, of these, so I'll be selling that. Plus, also, you can get the paperback version on Amazon. This is my proof copy that Amazon sent me, and I was very happy with the quality, so I thought, yes, I'm going to go with Amazon. So if you do want to buy this novel, Of Magic and Monkeys, don't have to, obviously, but if you do, you do. You know, it's great. It'd be great. Run was good, says Sally. Just over 30 minutes. See, that is amazing. Running for 30 minutes is madness. It's harder than it sounds. Coffee time. Now, I want that novel so badly. Didn't you read it already, though, Martha? I'm sure you've read it. Have you not read it, Martha? Well, limping. Yeah, when I was doing running, foolish. Yeah, you just have to go at your own pace. There's no point in trying to be competitive about it, because you'll just do yourself an injury, obviously. But yeah, Sally and I are playing squash now on a Friday, so you know, that's my way of trying to get back into fitness. Yes, I did. It was one of the beta readers. That's right. So, oh, I see. So I just sent you a not really typeset PDF. Yes. Good. Oh, okay. So yeah, you haven't actually got a copy. Right. Fair enough. So there we go. So that's that. That is my game book. Very happy with the progress so far. So yeah, so once I go through all of the corrections myself, then I'm going to pass it on to a couple of proofreaders, and then also going to pass it on to the play testers. So what I'll be doing is I will be posting up into the Edra Tales Facebook group and also on my personal Facebook account requests for play testers. If you wanted to play test it, you will get your name in the book for play testing it. So, you know, but it won't be like a finished copy like this. It will be a digital copy, and it will be as a sort of Word document, if you like. But I should put the links in. I should also put a hyperlink. So it'll be a PDF, and you should be able to link, you know, the links will go to the correct entries, hopefully. Yes, I did. Okay, so right, you've got the PDF. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, I'm very grateful for you reading that, Martha. So thank you very much. Hey, cracks knuckles. Let's get testing. Well, that's very kind of you, Lewin. Yeah. My only caveat would be, if you don't want the whole thing spoiled, then don't volunteer to play test. Because if you'd rather wait for the finished book, then obviously it's gonna spoil it for you. But if you're fine with that, then obviously I'd be more than grateful for play testing. Julian of Babel_17 has already agreed to play test it as well. So obviously the more the merrier. But if it's only a handful of people, then that's fine. Because I would really like to get this finished. But I've got 20 illustrations to do, so I'm not sure I'm going to do 20 illustrations in 2 or 3 weeks, because I need about 2 weeks to send it to the printers for them to then send it back to me. So I think it's going to be very tight to get it done by mid-May, but I probably will be able to get it by the end of May. So I'm hoping to still stick to my Kickstarter deadline, that May is when everybody's going to get their copy of the book. The other rewards will then follow. That's what I thought, because people back the book, not necessarily to get all the other stuff. The Kickstarter is the book, so for me that's the main priority. All the other rewards I will then focus on after that, so that's cool. Hope that's clear. So what else has everybody else been up to? Let me know about your projects. Martha's going to go and make a rogue costume today. We got Jam? Jam's not in. Anybody else got any projects they want to talk about, what they've been up to? I've also been doing, well, as you know, we have our launch of Guildlands later on in the year, published by Outset Media and Cheatwell Games. So that is kind of quieting down for me now, because it's all signed off. We are waiting for it to come back from the printers. I will be doing a how to play episode, but I need to have time to do that. So it's probably going to be mid-April that I do a how to play. But I have taken it to a few board game clubs, and they've really enjoyed it. Also, I've played it with friends who aren't necessarily gamers, who also enjoyed it. So, that's encouraging. You don't really know until you put it out there to the public to decide. Liebren's put, this endeavour will allow me to use my Ferris wheel dice, the D12 wheel, specifically to good use. Yeah, absolutely. If you've got one of those Ferris wheels, yeah. I'm just icing mango loaf cake. Fantastic, Sally. Mango loaf cake. You don't often hear those, do you? But yes, D12. So my game book runs off the D12 system. So I'm also got some D12s that hopefully I can customise and then send those to the backers. And also the other thing I've been working on, not as much because it doesn't need as much changing, is my sequel to the Crooked Crown, which is called The Wonky Wand. So we haven't pitched it to any publishers yet. But of course, because it's a sequel to The Crooked Crown, or it's a game that's set in the same universe as The Crooked Crown, because you're goblins again. This is all AI art, by the way. It's useful. AI art is useful for prototypes, because normally when I did prototypes, I would be using artists' work anyway from the web, but I wouldn't be, selling the artwork. I'm not using the artwork to sell. I'm using it for prototypes. So this was... so now what we've got going on here... Oh, is this the old one? What? I thought I created a whole new one. Oh, I did. I've got the wrong one. Anyway, I've been playtesting this as well. And what you find with board games is that you come up with a board game, then you play test it. Normally between, if it's Kedrick and I have been designing it together, we'll play test it between ourselves. Then we'll suggest some changes. Then we'll play test it with other people. Then there'll be some changes to make. Then we'll play test it again. Then and you just go back and forth until you really feel like you've nailed it. And without going into the game specifically, I play tested it recently, and there was a block card, which is this card. Martha's put, sorry, my phone was a little and needs to be charged. No worries, Martha. Oh, hello. Yes. Welcome, SaruJ04. Cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. Well, we'd rather you remove the comment. Yeah, stupid bot. But thank you for letting us know about your service. No one's going to use it, but thank you for joining in the stream. Hopefully that counts as a viewer for my stats. It probably won't. So yeah, so you can remove it as the streamer. Yes, I know. I don't know how to do that though, Martha. And you know what? No one's going to click on it or use it, are they? So, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Just a bit of fun. But thank you for letting me know, Martha. Yeah. So, yeah, we've got a block card. And without going into the details of the game, the block card was proving a bit of a problem. It was tricky. It wasn't really working out. So we tried fixing it. We tried changing the slight rules, how you use it, all of that. And again, it just really wasn't working. So we have decided... Well... After playtesting it again, thinking it was changed, Kedrick doesn't know this yet, but I need to have a meeting with him. But I've been so busy, I just haven't been able to chat to him yet. We've come up. We had this card anyway called Destroy Card. So instead of blocking someone, you just destroy one of their cards instead, and hopefully that solves that problem of the block card. You just get rid of it, just change it. And I think that's very important in creativity in general. Don't be too wedded to your ideas. Don't be too sort of precious about things. Because sometimes you're going to have to get rid of things that you thought were a good idea at the time. So we thought, having a block card where you block other people would be good. It would be a good mechanic to have. However, it's proved a bit difficult to implement, to sort of maintain, to remember, to keep going, all of that. There's problems with it. So there's no, after trying to fix it, at some point you just have to say, is it working? No. All right, let's get rid of it. So that's what I'm going to be suggesting to Kedrick. And then hopefully I'll get to play test it. We'll get to play test it with some people just to see if it worked. And what's nice about going to play testing groups and also, board game clubs, is that with the playtesting groups, it's specifically for people to playtest their games. So they don't mind if you come back with the same game to playtest, after time, because that's kind of what the whole point of the group is about. Board game clubs, on the other hand, they're normally for people that want to play published games. Yeah, some of them don't really like playtesting stuff because they might think, it's half-baked. I'm not going to get a good game out of this. But luckily, I've got another group of people at the board game club that are willing to play test the changed card. So it's nice to have people that played the old version that then play the new version, because then they can compare what they feel works and what, you know, if it's an improvement or not. Can confirm, definitely the whole point. To be fair, the Edinburgh bunch might be the only bunch of them. Might be only a bunch of them. So you mean about playtesting, Rosalind? Sometimes your comments, well, everyone's comments is a bit delayed after what I say, so I can't always remember what you're tagging into. But yes, you go to, or you used to go to the Edinburgh playtesting or games club, didn't you? Oh, but they have a specific playtesting group. Yes, and that's the thing. So I go to a specific playtesting group where you know they want you to come with prototypes, and the courtesy is that you play other people's games as well. So you know they'll playtest yours and you playtest theirs, and you just give honest feedback. So it's good for everybody to sort of help shape each other's games. Martha needs snacks. Your mood is starting to be meh. Nice. Let's get some meaty tubes down you. Nah, I'm busy, so I'm dashing out, and yes. No worries. Doing a very nerdy thing with a nerd. See you later. This is great show. I'll catch up later. Thank you very much, Rosalind. Yes, have a lovely nerdy day for you. And yes, enjoy your snacks, Martha. Yeah, thanks for watching. Really appreciate that, Rosalind. So it's good to have the same set of people playtesting your game, because they can, as I say, compare and contrast the changes. What you've also got to bear in mind is that because somebody says something doesn't necessarily mean you need to make that change. You take it on board. I tend to write people's comments down and then I'll go away. And if I'm co-designing with Rosalind's had a banana. Bye. If you're so if I'm creating a game with Kedrick, for example, I will feed back that playtesting session to him, and then we'll discuss the points that the playtesters found. And sometimes you go, sometimes you kind of go, okay, I can kind of see what they're saying, but we're going to reject that and we're not going to make that change. Others, though, you go, no, that is a very good point. And you will then try to solve that problem. Really, when I give feedback, when you give feedback for a game or anything, it's difficult because you want to fix it. You want to be the one to fix the problem. However, that's not necessarily your job as a playtester. Your job as a playtester is to point out the problems. And then the designer says, yes, no, yes, no. They're the ones that come up with the problem to solve. So I also have to bear that in mind when I get feedback. So somebody might say, this is a problem, X, Y, Z, and then you'd say, and then they would try and fix it for you. Now, I'll still write that solution about what they've come up with, but then I might say, I agree it's a problem. However, I'm not going to change it the way that you suggest because I feel like there's a better way. So again, it's kind of one of those things where everything's open for grabs, but you have to sort of ultimately be the one in charge. Or if you're co-designing, obviously, you and your co-designer. So there we go. So that's exciting for that. The other thing that obviously I've been working on, and again, these things come in waves, because when you're playtesting, you then make changes, but then you might not. You have to wait a couple of weeks to then maybe playtest it again. Hello, Jam. My spider swirling sausage sandwiches. Ooh. There's no spiders. There's no. Oh, is. So, for example, I'm also developing my Devilish Deaths murder mystery game, and I thought it's on my shoulder. I don't believe you, but I'll do that just in case. I thought I was pretty much close to sort of, submitting this and thinking it's good for, pitching around. When I play tested it one more time, looking at a new mechanic, how movement works, because I changed how you move around the board, and that playtesting group, no, it wasn't a playtest. They were very gassy. They were gamers, so they were very heavily into their games. And they suggested a few things. They went, well, this is it. And I thought, actually, some of them were very valid things to say. So I have now made more changes to it. Or I should say, I've got my notes, and I now need to find time to make those changes. And it does mean making changes to the rule set. It also means making changes... does it mean making changes to the board? Oh, actually, I don't think it does mean making changes to the board, so that's good. Yeah. But then, so it's very few changes, actually. And also, some of them, two of them were actually medical people. So that came in very handy for a murder mystery because, they know about medical stuff. And obviously, if you're writing a murder mystery, you're dealing with death. So you need to do research on medical topics. So there was a few things that I need to double check that they claimed were true. And I was thinking, is that right? I'm sure I've done my research. But, if they're medical people, they work in the medical field, then of course they're going to have more knowledge than me. More likely they're going to be correct rather than me correct. So there's a few little things now that I need to do. However, that won't stop me from actually submitting this to the UK Games Expo because they have a speed dating session. And it's really good if you're an up-and-coming designer, or even if you're not an up-and-coming designer, but it's good if you've never pitched before in a way, because what you do is you submit your rule set, and that's up to 2 sides of A4. And if it's longer, like my one is actually 6 pages of rules, but you summarise it in 2 pages. And also you have a pitch sheet. So here's my rules. So here's my rule sheet. And then my summarised rule sheet. And then you also have a pitch sheet, which I've got somewhere, but I don't know where that's gone. Oh, it's here. Is it here? Yeah, so I've got a pitch sheet. So what you do is you submit the pitch sheet and your 2-sided rules to UK Games. Then they probably get about 100 pitches, 100 people submitting, something like that. And they'll have X amount of publishers that will then pick a game that they want to see. Now, they don't have to pick yours. Yours might get no votes whatsoever. If you don't get any votes, you won't be invited along. If you have one publisher that wants to look at it, you get invited along. And then what you do is you then have a table, and it is exactly like speed dating. All the publishers move around talking to each designer, and you only get 5 minutes. After the bell rings, they all get up, they thank you, and off they go. So you got 5 minutes to pitch plus questions if they got any questions at the end. And normally, if they like it and they want to see more, then they'll arrange to meet up with you at UK Games. And also they'll give you a business card normally, or they'll say, yeah, we've got a stand, come on by, we'd like to see the game in action, or we'd like to demo it, or we'd like to talk further about it. So it can be quite exciting because you can see up to, say, 15, 20 publishers in the space of like an hour, something like that, an hour and a half. So that's really useful because if you want to just pitch it to a lot of people, you've got more chance of actually selling the game to them than not. So that's what I'm planning to do. That'll be my first round of pitching. And then if I don't get a publisher, then I will then just go back to sending it out via email. And again, because I've already got the pitch sheet, I've got the rules ready, everything's ready, then that should be a fairly quick process. So hopefully, this time next year, I'll have this game coming out at UK Games Expo. We shall see. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep going. That's all you can do. So, being creative is a curse and a blessing at the same time. It's a curse because I never can stop not creating. I get itchy. I get, a bit depressed if I don't actually create stuff. I don't know if you find that. But also, so that's that curse. And then also it's a blessing because it's a joy to do. But I guess also, but it is hard work. Nothing is going to get given to you. You have to put in the hard work. You have to keep pitching it around. You have to kind of network. You have to get yourself known. It's that kind of thing as well. So there's a lot goes into just sort of trying to get something out there. Says Lirin. There was a short 90 minutes but scary looking Stephen film called The Monkey. The Monkey! It's not like that, is it? That's a twisted monkey. The Monkey! At the cinema and the cafe, should I go tonight with fear? Yeah, absolutely. Anything that's got the monkey title. I fear the pun, the what? The pun thalamus part of my brain is not yet active tonight. It's, what? Martha's put here, it's bluesed both, it's, yeah, something plus both a blessing and a curse. Yes, it is. It is a blessing and a curse. But hopefully you get enough enjoyment out of it so it's not too much of a curse. I'd like to think it's more of a blessing than a curse. Glenn's put chatting to other creatives about their ideas gives me enough of a fix to go about my day. Yeah, no, absolutely, Glenn. I'm glad this helps because I find this, and this is kind of why I started this, it's part therapy for me and part therapy for you because, you know, you especially if you're in a job that is not creative or you're not surrounded by creative people. I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's not a them and us. We're all human. They're nice, but sometimes you do want to talk to people about creativity and say, do you find the same? You know, am I going mad? Is this, you know? And so it's nice to have that back and forth with people that kind of understand my suffering. Look at the time. Yes, exactly. That's right, Martha. Look at the time. Oh, it's 10:51. So there we go. So that is what I'll be working on next. So my week is going to basically be finishing the editing of my game book. 103,000 words. I keep bragging about that. I hope it's not going to be like this. This is the novel that I'm reading at the moment, The Yard. It's set a year after the Jack the Ripper murders. It's very good. Really enjoying it. And it sort of focuses on detectives from the Scotland Yard. But I hope it's not going to be that thick. I mean, it might. Would a game book that thick put you off? That's a normal, you know, fighting fantasy. I hope it. Would that put you off? I don't know. But yeah, I guess would it put a kid off? It might be. I'm a little cutie pie. I'm a little cutie pie, short and fat. Oh, I'm working on a new engine random system which could be used to run adventure books from. So far it's looking interesting. Yes, Glenn and I did have a very interesting conversation about game mechanics in game books, and yeah, Glenn's come up with something pretty different. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously. Good night, everybody. Maybe coffee would not be a good idea if the film is too scary. Yes. Enjoy the film, Lirin. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate that. So, yeah, and then I'll be hand carving my illustrations onto these. Now, hopefully, I've got 10 of these. I might do them back to back. We shall find out. Silver steals Harry coin pouch and runs on the ship. Catch me if you can. Exactly. Martha's always a rogue. Arrivederci, Lirin. So there we go. So that is kind of what I've been up to. I've been busy. Oh yeah, and also there's a little bit of an update on my gob heads. So I've been making these little goblin heads called gob heads. And a friend of mine has starting, I don't know if I told you this, she started doing resin art, and our clocks go forward an hour, so not sure how that affects overseas friends tonight. Oh, that's true, I've forgotten about that. I'm going to lose an hour of sleep. And so she said that she wouldn't mind making a resin version of these. So, you know, I'm going to sort of lend her one, see what she can do with it, and then see what comes of it. So it's a little bit bizarre. So there we go. So that's just a little update on the gobheads. Same for Martha as well. Oh, okay, so Norway, they also changed the clocks. Chases Martha with a custard pie. Yeah, that well-known weapon, the custard pie. Oh, the film won't start for another 30 minutes yet. But Baron Sarah Jam. Buna Sarah Jam. Does that mean goodbye in Spanish? So you are now like ships that pass in the night. Anyway, there we go. I think that's it. We'll just wrap it up for today. We've got through a lot, haven't we, today? I really appreciate every single one of you watching. It's fantastic that we've got, a very small community, but a loyal community and a friendly community. That's what I really like about this. We're all friendly towards each other. We leave politics at the door. We leave our differences at the door, and we just enjoy talking about creativity. We talk about fantasy, and obviously we ramble off on other things. So thank you very much. Buonasera is good evening in lingua Italio. Oh, okay. Yep. I can barely speak English, let alone other languages, but yeah. Buonasera. So thank you very much, Glenn. Thank you, Lee-Rin. Thank you, Jam. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Roslyn. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. Has anyone else commented? John has commented. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to all that watched. Even if you didn't comment, obviously you're more than welcome just to put this on in the background while you're washing the car or you're perming your hair, whatever you might be doing. Oh, have I forgotten you, Martha? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Martha, please forgive me. Thank you, Martha, for watching. I had thought you might have gone because you said you were going to go off and get a snack. But anyway, thank you so much. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Ken. Don't make excuses. Don't try and get out of it. Don't worry. Gruckle Snook's going to reprimand me. Thank you so much, Martha, for watching. I do appreciate it. Have a lovely day making your costumes. It does sound amazing. And anyone else, if you're doing anything today, which is a wide base, thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend. And we've got the next live stream is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. UK time. Remember the clock changes as well. The Dungeon on Blood Island by Ian Livingstone. It is the latest fighting fantasy book that came out last year. We are on part 9. Wow. And then that'll probably be the last part for that. So then we'll work out what one we're going to do after that. So thank you for watching. And remember, hang on. Always got to get the plug in. Where is it? I've lost it. And remember to be as organised as I am. Hang on. Here it is. And remember, we'll edit that bit out, don't worry. Remember, may your thieving never be caught. I don't think they noticed, Grockle Snook. I'm a smooth operator. Nen. Don't know what that means. Bye.